Most people move to Ottawa and they settle for the first neighborhood that they find. But there's one area that's rewriting the real estate playbook. And if you're thinking about relocating here to Ottawa, this could be the difference between a good investment and a really great investment. And I'm talking about Westboro. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this neighborhood has become the place everyone wants to be, and more importantly, why getting in now could be one of the smartest financial decisions that you'll make. And if you're new to the channel, well, welcome. And if you're not new, well, welcome back. My name is Mark Belanger. I'm a realtor with the Metro City Property Group, and I help real estate investors just like you purchase real estate using data and an analytical approach and an investor mindset. All my contact details are below. Reach out to me if you think that I can help you through your real estate journey. So let's get into Westboro. Let's start with a story that kind of explains everything. Back in the 1980s and the 1990s, Westboro was exactly what you'd expect a West Side Ottawa neighborhood to be. Quiet, residential, and honestly kind of forgettable. Families moved there because it was affordable and peaceful. Nobody was really talking about it. Nobody was excited about it. It was just a place where people lived, where you drive through and you'd think, nice place, nothing really special, and for decades, that was the reality. But then something shifted around the year 2000. Something interesting started happening. Young professionals began discovering Westboro. They realized it was close enough to downtown for a short commute, but far enough away that you could actually get some space, quieter streets, and a real sense of community. Local entrepreneurs took notice. They started opening restaurants, coffee shops, and retail spaces. A community began to form. What was once forgotten suburb started becoming a destination, and the transformation has been pretty remarkable. According to data from the Ottawa Real Estate Board, Westboro saw a 34% increase in property values between 2015 and 2023. That's more than double the city average. And here's the thing, that growth isn't slowing down. It's actually accelerating. But this didn't happen by accident. Understanding why Westboro became popular is the key to understanding why it's going to keep growing. The neighborhood became popular because of three fundamental things working together: location, community, and infrastructure investment. All three are still happening right now, which means the appreciation story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started. So let's dig into what makes Westboro really attractive. And understanding why people actually want to move there is the first step in understanding why it's such a solid investment. And when people think about choosing a neighborhood, most of them focus on the wrong things. They think it's just about the house itself, the square footage, the number of bedrooms, the condition of the roof, and so on. But that's missing the bigger picture. What people really want is a lifestyle. They want community. They want to know whether or not they're making a smart choice, not just for today, but for the next decade or two. And Westboro delivers on all three fronts. The first pillar is location and connectivity. Westboro sits on what I call the sweet spot of Ottawa. You're close enough to downtown for a short, manageable commute, and we're talking about 15 to 20 minutes depending on where you're working. But you're far enough away where you can actually get some space. You get quieter residential streets, and you get a real sense of community that you lose when you're packed into the downtown core. It's literally the best of both worlds. And there's actually something else that makes it even better. The LRT expansion is bringing rapid transit directly through Westboro. And this is a game changer. And once this is complete, commute times are going to drop even more. People who thought Westboro was too far will suddenly realize it's incredibly convenient. And that's when demand really spikes. The second pillar is community and culture. And this is where Westboro really stands out in my opinion. The neighborhood has developed a real identity. It's not some generic suburban development. Westboro has character. It hosts markets, festivals, and community events throughout the calendar year. Local business owners actually know their customers. There's a genuine sense of belonging that you just don't get in newer, sterile developments. And this matters more than you might think. People don't just buy houses, they buy into communities. They buy into a lifestyle. And when you move somewhere, you're not just purchasing 4 walls and a roof. You're choosing where you're going to spend your time, raise your family, build relationships, and create memories. A neighborhood with strong community is a neighborhood where people want to stay. And when people want to stay, property values stay strong. And according to a 2023 survey by Neighborhood Scout, 78% of people who moved to Westboro cited community and lifestyle as their primary reason for choosing the neighborhood. Not investment potential, not just the property itself, but community and lifestyle. And that's higher than any other neighborhood in Ottawa. And that tells you something pretty important. Westboro isn't just appreciating because of speculation, it's appreciating because people genuinely want to live there. The third pillar is amenities and accessibility. Westboro has restaurants, cafes, independent shops, and services all within walking distance. You don't need to jump into your car for every single errand. That walkability is something younger generations specifically want. It's something families want. It's something professionals want. And that broad appeal drives demand up across the board. Now, let's talk about what there's to actually do in Westboro, because this is where the neighborhood really comes alive. And here's what most people miss when evaluating the neighborhoods. You need to think about whether or not you'd actually want to spend time there. Not just live there, but actually spend time there. Walk around, grab a coffee, meet friends, take your kids to the park. Does the neighborhood make you want to be there? That's a critical question. And Westboro has transformed into a destination neighborhood. On a Saturday morning, the streets are alive. There's energy. There are restaurants ranging from casual to upscale. There are independent coffee shops where people actually hang out. There's a brewery. There are shops and retail spaces that you actually want to visit. And this isn't manufactured. This isn't a developer's vision forced onto the community. This is organic growth driven by real community interests and real demand. And let me give you some specifics, because you are watching a real estate channel after all, and all of this really matters. You've got dining options in Westboro that span everything from casual brunch spots to some serious restaurants in Westboro. And you've got Westboro Beach Park right there on the water for summer activities, swimming, and community events. You've got independent retailers that give Richmond Road a real Main Street feel. And you've got community gardens where people grow their own vegetables. You've got fitness studios, yoga classes, Pilates clubs, and shout out to Club Pilates, and events happening year-round. And there's always something happening in Westboro. And here's the investment angle that most people miss. When a neighborhood has strong amenities and a real thriving community, property values stay stable even during market downturns. People want to live there. They'll pay for it. They'll stay there longer. They'll recommend it to their friends. And that creates sustained demand, which creates appreciation. You're not just buying a property, you're buying into something that's proven to be resilient. But here's what gets really exciting. The real moneymaker isn't what's already there, it's what's coming next. And this is where Westboro becomes a serious investment opportunity. And I want you to pay close attention to this part. The infrastructure being built right now, and I mean right now, not someday, but in the next few years, will drive the next wave of appreciation. And if you get in before this happens, you'll position yourself to capture significant gains. The City of Ottawa has committed over $2 billion in infrastructure investment for the west side of the city over the next decade. That includes transit expansion, road improvements, and development projects. Westboro is the absolute center of this entire investment. This isn't speculation. This is committed municipal spending. The LRT Stage 2 expansion is what's going to make all the difference. It's the single biggest factor that's going to transform Westboro's trajectory. It's bringing rapid transit directly to the neighborhood. And think about what that actually means. No more sitting in traffic during your commutes. No more depending on your car for every single trip downtown. Rapid transit access. That single project will reduce commute times significantly, increase accessibility, and attract an entirely new wave of people to the neighborhood. And here's what history tells us. Properties within walking distance of new transit infrastructure see consistent appreciation. And historically, again, we're talking about 15 to 25% appreciation in the years following completion. But in some cases, it's actually higher. And I've watched this happen in other cities. When transit comes to a specific neighborhood, it's transformational. Suddenly, people who didn't even consider the area before start to look at it seriously, and the demand goes up and prices follow. And if you're already there, you already own your property in that specific neighborhood, well, you benefit enormously, obviously. And according to research from the Canadian Real Estate Association, neighborhoods that receive new transit infrastructure see an average of 18% appreciation in the 5 years following completion. Westboro is positioned to see similar or stronger results because it already has strong fundamentals. You're not talking about a struggling neighborhood that transit might save. We're talking about a neighborhood that's already thriving, that's already appreciating, that's about to get even more attractive. And beyond transit, there's significant commercial development coming to Westboro. New retail spaces, office development, and mixed-use properties are planned for the area. This brings jobs, it brings services, it brings even more reasons for people to choose Westboro as their home. Every new development increases property values in the surrounding area. It's a ripple effect. So think about it this way. Would you rather buy in a neighborhood after all the infrastructure is built and prices are already high, after everyone knows it's the place to be? Or would you rather get in before the infrastructure arrives and capture that appreciation as it happens? That's the Westboro opportunity right now. And that window is open, but it won't stay open forever. And if you factor in what's happening at LeBreton Flats and potentially bringing the Ottawa Senators into LeBreton Flats, there's going to be a little bit more of an overflow. And again, development. Again, think about that long-term, 5, 10, and 15 years out. So why should you actually care about any or all of this? And let me be direct with you. Again, you're watching a real estate channel. You should care about Westboro because it represents the single best risk-adjusted real estate opportunity in Ottawa right now. But you need to understand what that actually means. First, it's not speculative. Westboro isn't some up-and-coming area that might work out. It's already working. Property values are rising. The community is established. The demand is real and it's measurable. And you're not betting on potential. You're buying into something that's already proven itself. That's a fundamentally different investment profile than betting on some emerging neighborhood that might or might not take off. Properties in Westboro have appreciated an average of 6.2% annually over the last 5 years. That's significantly higher than the Ottawa average of 3.8%. And with infrastructure development coming, that gap is likely to widen. And you're looking at above average returns in a neighborhood that's already established and proven. And second, it's not overpriced yet. If you compare Westboro to neighborhoods like the Glebe or even Old Ottawa South, you're still getting better value for your money, and that gap is closing fast. The longer you wait, the more you'll pay for the same property. I'm not trying to scare you into making a hasty decision. I'm just being honest about the market dynamics. The best time to buy is an appreciating neighborhood is before everyone knows it's actually appreciating. That moment in Westboro is now. Third, if you're relocating to Ottawa, Westboro gives you the best of everything in one package. Good schools, strong community, walkable amenities, easy commute, a neighborhood that's positioned to grow for the next decade or two. And you're not buying a house or just buying a house, you're buying into a lifestyle and a solid investment. You're buying into a community that's thriving and a neighborhood that's positioned to thrive even more. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're relocating to Ottawa and you're looking to invest in real estate, I want to help you make the right decision. Go to my website at markbelangerrealty.com and scroll down to the Westboro section. In that section, you'll see restaurants, of course, you'll see school information, you'll have all the demographic information that you might need, and that would be the foundational layer to give you all the information required for Westboro. From there, obviously, I would recommend give me a shout. Let's have a chat about where you're going and where you want to go. Let's go look at some places in Westboro. Let's have a deep dive. Let's go have a coffee in one of those fancy coffee shops in Westboro. I'd be very happy to represent you and talk you through your Westboro decision. So let me know in the comments below if you're considering Westboro, what's holding you back. Let me know in the comment section. I don't get enough of these comments, but I do answer every single one of them. I think Westboro is going to kick off a little bit of debate. And if you're new to the channel or subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. It helps get my message out to more people. I would really appreciate that. If you found value in this video, please give me a thumbs up and forward it on to anybody who might be considering Westboro specifically. So that's it. Thank you very much. I enjoy putting these videos together on a weekly basis. Until the next video, stay smart, stay invested. I'll see you in the next video.